What's the deal, baby? You already know it is the big boss. How boss down K Poe through the door. Here to talk this boxing. So today, man, we talking about, just the state of boxing. It's beautiful right now. Just all the fights that's happening. And I'm gonna get my pound for pound list at the end because it's ever interchanging because of these performances that we've been seeing the past couple months. So first and foremost, man, like I said, the end of this year, boxing is killing it. You got just this weekend, you got JoJo Diaz, Devin Haney. You got Tank Davis versus Isaac Pitbull Cruz. That's going to be a firefight, I'm telling you. Y'all sleeping on Pitbull Cruz. Y'all talking about Rolly. Rolly's going to get stretched. You know what I'm saying? I'll just say Rolly. I'll make a separate video about that. Isaac Pitbull Cruz versus Tank. That's gonna be a firefight. We just had Kambosos versus Teofimo. That was a banger. That was good. Fulton versus Figueroa. That was winning. And then I hear that Charlo from the fight Castano at the top of the year. That's gonna be fire. And you got to give respect to Jermell Charlo, bro, because he fighting fights that stylistically is, I won't say a matchup nightmare, but it's a problem. But he figuring it out. Think about it. He fought Tony Harrison, right? Tony Harrison boxed him. Did I think Tony Harrison really did enough to beat Jermell Charlo the first fight? No. But, hey, he got the nod. The second one, he was having little issues, but Charlo said, F this, I'm finna sleep this boy, and he did that. You know what I mean? That's what I talk about. When you're an elite fighter, you figure it out. You know what I mean? And that's what Charlo do. He figure it out. He like, man, I don't care. Hey, I'm going to figure it out. I'm still going to beat this dude. And that's what makes you an elite fighter to me. When he knocking off all the top dudes at 54. He knocked off Lubin back, most people say, oh, Lubin was a puppy. But Lubin, everybody favored Lubin to beat Jermell Charlo. Everybody was like, man, Lubin gonna beat Jermell Charlo. And Charlo sparked him in one round, huh? You know what I'm saying? Now, do I think it'll be different? I think it'll be a little tougher. If they fought now, I think it'll be a little tougher, but I still think Charlo will beat Lubin. But you gotta give Charlo his credit. You know what I mean? I also hear through the grapevine that Wilder may fight Andrew Ruiz, and if on pay-per-view, and that could be a good fight. I don't want to see that fight. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I'm not into triangle theory, so I'm not gonna sit there and say, oh, Andrew Ruiz got knocked down by Chris Arreola, but all I know is Wilder, if he line up Ruiz and Ruiz get hit flush, it's good night, Irene. That's what I'm saying. That's what I think. I see that, man. You know what I mean? I would rather see Wilder versus like Joshua. I think that'll be a big fight. You know what I mean? Like, let's get that popping. You know what I mean? I would like to see Wilder versus Joe Joyce or something. Something like that, man. Hell, even old dude that was talking, what's his name? Dylan White. I would like that. I think that'd be a big fight. There's been a lot of talking over the years, between, Dylan White saying certain things to Wilder and his camp. I just think that, that Andrew Ruiz fight is cool. I'm not opposed to it, but I think it'd be bigger fights if he fight like I said, Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? I don't see nothing wrong with that, but I don't think Joshua, I think Joshua's gonna get the rematch with Usyk. So, we'll see how that fight goes. Which I got Usyk in that one. Usyk could have stopped Joshua. He could have. I don't know. Go back and look at that 12th round. Usyk was putting it on Joshua, and then the bell just mysteriously rang. It was still time left. It just went from 10 seconds, and then it didn't even go all the way to 0, bro. You know what I mean? It was just like they didn't want to see Joshua get stopped like that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you know, and I didn't look at that as an upset. I thought Usyk stylistically was just better. But everybody looks at Anthony Joshua. He's bigger. He he got the body and all that. So they like, oh, Joshua should win. It's like, that don't matter. It's boxing, bro. None of that matter in boxing. But like I say, the state of boxing is beautiful. Hopefully we get that Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford fight. It's a lot of people talking. They saying Errol Spence is ducking Bud Crawford. But this is my question. Where are y'all getting this from? Nobody was saying that until Bud and his team started saying that. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence fighting all the top fighters who are champions, who have belts. All these dudes are champions. They're top fighters on PBC. They got belts. He fighting them. He fighting fights that he potentially could lose. All right? He fought Mikey Garcia. They were saying, oh, Mikey going to outbox him. And Mikey was a 140-pounder. I don't want to hear nobody talking about, oh, Mikey was a 135-pounder. Mikey fought 2 fights at 140. He went up 1 weight class and fought Errol Spence. He was the one who pushed for that fight. He was the one who called out Errol Spence. He was going in the media talking about, I want to fight Errol Spence. So what Errol Spence supposed to do? Be like, oh, no, I ain't going to fight him. Nah, you call me out, you going to get this smoke. And that's how it should be. You keep calling. He kept calling Errol out. Like, I see something. I want to fight Errol. So Errol Spence said, bet. All right, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, Calvin. You know what I mean? So, but they said, oh, man, Errol Spence, he didn't stop him. He couldn't stop Mikey. So much you think he could stop Bud Crawford? Easy. First of all, styles make fights. All right? Y'all try to use these triangle theories and all that. It's the same thing with Terence Crawford, Sean Porter. Nobody could stop Sean Porter, and Bud Crawford did, right? We can't use triangle theories. You know what I mean? We can't use that. Styles make fights. Bud Crawford's style was able to get Sean Porter out of there. You know what I mean? So, why can't Errol Spence style get, Bud out of there? Well, hell, Bud may get Errol out of there. We don't know until the fight get made, but all I know is the fight gonna get made. We're gonna look up and it's gonna get made. I'm telling you. You're gonna look up and it's gonna say Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford set for, I'm telling you. And I think they'll probably fight in the springtime. I'm telling you. It may be like March or April. Remember this. But all this stuff about, Errol Spence is ducking. It don't even match that man energy, bro. Like, y'all trying to advocate for Bud and say that Bud is Errol Spence ducking Bud, but Errol Spence fighting killers, but Bud ain't fighting nobody at 47. The only person he fought at 47 was Sean Porter. If anything, we could come after Bud. And another thing I want to point out, if Bud Crawford really wanted to fight Errol Spence, when you become undisputed at a certain division, right? Because Bud says, hey, I was calling these guys out at 140, right? So when Bud became undisputed at 140, right? And he says, hey, I want to fight Keith Thurman. I want to fight Errol Spence. Well, Errol Spence, if I'm not mistaken, had won the IBF championship, right? So why didn't Bud, before Bud fought Jeff Horn, or whatever that boy name is, why didn't he decide to go the IBF route? And that way, because Bud had all the belts at 140, he gets first dibs. So Bud could have said, hey, I'm going to go the IBF route, and I'm going to fight Errol Spence and get that belt off of him. Why he didn't do that then? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's why we say all this talking and stuff, he was undisputed. When you're undisputed, like, for example, Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor decides, I want to go the WBC route. I want to fight Errol Spence. Errol Spence is WBC champion at 47. So Josh Taylor moves up and says, hey, I want to fight Errol Spence. So he does a tune-up fight, and then he gets an Errol Spence fight. He could do that. He gonna have first dibs because he became undisputed at another division. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, we could talk about that all day. I mean, I get this in my comment section all the time. My videos, these dudes be talking about, oh, Errol Spence fan. I'm not an Errol Spence fan. I'm a fan of boxing. But I'm not a fan of people lying on people. It'd be the same way like Bud. If somebody came on here and said, Bud is not elite, I'm going to correct you, bro. I'm going to be like, nah, you capping. Bud is an elite fighter. You know what I'm saying? Nobody say Bud suck. Nobody say Bud ain't elite. Nobody say nothing. Nobody say Bud scared. Nobody say Bud trash. We just want to see Bud near the top fighters. That's all we want to see. But they'll sit there and say, oh, PBC didn't want to fight Bud. There's only 2 fighters on PBC I could say that we could prove that didn't want to fight Bud. Danny Garcia's one. And Keith Thurman. You know, now Keith Thurman want to fight Bud, but, you know, that's another conversation. But those are the 2. Everybody else, they're like, shit. But Bud is a free agent now. There's no reason why these fights can't get made. Hell, you got Bob Bram doing interviews talking about, I ain't want to make the Spence fight because there's no money in it. He's saying this stuff. He's saying, oh, I ain't want to make the Spence fight because there's no money in the Spence fight. That's why I didn't want to make it. That's why I wasn't really pushing for it. This is stuff I told y'all in the comment section. That white dude don't want to see 2 black dudes make money. Y'all keep bringing up Fury Wilder 3 and all that. And I keep telling y'all, the difference between this fight and that fight is, what is Tyson Fury? He white, right? He's a white man. He gonna make sure Tyson Fury get his money, and he gonna stand behind Tyson Fury. He white. Think about what Top Rank do with their white fighters. They stand behind them 5,000. They promote them. They put them in top fights. All of the whites and the Hispanic fighters that they have. The black fighters, what do? They give them a little, you know, but they give them their little fights, but they not fighting top talent. Look at Shakur Stevenson. He want to fight Oscar Valdez. He like, hey, let me fight Oscar Valdez. I'm a champion now. Let me fight Oscar Valdez. Bob Arum like, nah. You gonna fight Miguel Berchelt. Miguel Berchelt? You talking about the one that got knocked out by Oscar Valdez? He got knocked out. I get it if he just lost. He got knocked out by Oscar Valdez. Like, come on, man, stop it. But like I say, all the top fighters leave Top Rank. They leave. They end up leaving. Especially the black ones. Floyd left. You know what I mean? Oscar De La Hoya, he Hispanic. He left. Bud Crawford finna leave. You know what I'm saying? You gotta really analyze this stuff. Yes, Top Rank, they do get talented fighters at the beginning of their careers, but when these guys get to their peak and they're elite, they leave because they're being held back. But that's a whole nother conversation. You know what I'm saying? Now we're finna get to my pound for pound list, man. So my pound for pound list, man. This is my pound for pound list, and I based my pound for pound list off of caliber of fighters that you're beating, things like that. So at number 1, I got Jermell Charlo. The reason why I got Jermell Charlo at number 1 is because he fighting killers. He figuring it out. He's fighting styles that stylistically could be a matchup nightmare for him, but he figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? Like I mentioned before, the Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison was boxing dude. Second fight. Although Charlo was up on the scorecards, I think about 1 or 2 rounds, you know, Tony Harrison in spurts was looking good. Jermell Charlo say, F that, sleep. Knock that boy out. You know what I'm saying? So, and now Castano, you got some people saying, oh, Jermell Charlo, he lost against Castano. Okay. Jermell Charlo like, all right, y'all think I lost? I'm going to show y'all what it is. I'm going to fight him again. And I'm going to fight him in my hometown, and we're going to see what's cracking. More added pressure. But he not running from no smoke. You know what I mean? He ain't running from no smoke. He running to it. So, you got to give Jermell Charlo his credit. And he's one of the most hated on fighters I've seen, bro. Like, people act like this boy, like, did something to them personally. They be talking greasy on this internet, bro. When you bring up Jermell Charlo, it's like, oh, yeah, man, he's cats only and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Man, they be... But I bet you when they see Cuz, that energy ain't going to be the same. That's what kills me about this internet. At 2, I got Errol Spence. Like I said, I base my stuff off caliber of fighters. Errol Spence fighting killers, bro. That's what it is. He fought Shawn Porter. You know, most people say, oh, let me guess, you know, you're going to say that, you know, he fought Shawn Porter's fight. He said before the fight, I'm going to fight Shawn Porter like Shawn Porter. I'm going to outdog him. I'm going to outwill him, and I'm going to knock him out. That's what he said before the fight. And he did that. He came in there, he fought. You know, did I like that? No. I think he should have boxed Shawn Porter. You know what I mean? But he fought Shawn Porter fight, got the knockdown. I think that was like the deciding factor. And then he won the fight. You know what I mean? So, but he fought Shawn Porter. Beat the brakes off Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Like, Danny Garcia never, all his losses have been contested. You know what I mean? They've been contested losses. You can argue. Now, granted, there are other fights that I feel like Danny Garcia lost. You know what I mean? I feel like Lamont Peterson, he lost that fight. What's the other one? I forgot the other one. He was at 40. I forgot he was at 40. I feel like he lost that fight. But the Lamont Peterson fight sticks out to me for real, because even he, at the end of the fight, was shaking his head like, man, like, and he walked over to Lamont Peterson, like, man, you know, kind of letting him know, like, man, you know, he didn't sit there at the end of the fight and shake his head, no, and make that face like he did against Shawn Porter, like he did against Keith Thurman. Nah. He had that face like he had at the end of the Errol Spence fight. Like, okay, you know, I know what it is. I know that I didn't perform up to the standards that I need to. You get what I mean? So, and then Errol Spence fought Kell Brook. And most people try to say, oh, Errol Spence beat a Kell Brook who lost to Triple G. Well, yeah, he you know, Kell Brook did lose to Triple G. He did. But this is a Kell Brook who was still undefeated at 147. Okay? He ain't lost a fight at 147. And he still was a dangerous fighter at 147. And we saw that. We definitely saw that when they fought. Kell Brook was giving Errol Spence the blues in the beginning of that fight. But Errol Spence figured it out. That's what makes you great. You figure it out. How can I beat this dude? Figured it out. Stopped him. So that's why I got Errol Spence at 2. 3, I got Bud Crawford. Like I say, Bud Crawford is a hell of a talent. He beat Shawn Porter. You know what I mean? Stopped him. Was the first one to do that. But for me, at 47, he hasn't fought a lot of talent. And they try to blame, you know, PBC and all that. But I just gave you a reason why Bob Arum has issues with promoting black fighters. They end up leaving because he doesn't personally believe that these fighters are marketable. Dang. I'm tripping. But he doesn't personally believe that these fighters are marketable. So like I say, that's a top rank thing. watching Terrence Crawford go on business for himself, and how these fights are gonna just start getting made easily. You get what I mean? Easily just get made. I got Canelo at 4. And the only reason I got Canelo at 4, he been doing a lot of cherry picking and hopping around and flipping and flopping like he in gymnastics. So I got him at 4. He has an impressive overall resume, but when he moved up, when he was at 54, he did that cherry picking and gymnastic flipping around at 54. He avoided both Charlos and Demetrius Andrade at 54. Then he moves up to 60, okay, where he could get the belts. He can become undisputed at 60. But what does he do? When Jermell Charlo moves up to 60 and, becomes his mandatory for that WBC belt that he had, he moves up to 68. Okay? He moves up to 68 where there's really little to no tough fights at 68. Besides David Benavidez, there was only David Benavidez and Caleb Plant up there. There's nobody else at 68 where you can be like, man, these guys here can beat Canelo. And Canelo know what it is. That's why he's not going to fight David Benavidez. Mark my words. He's going to go up to cruiserweight and fight that dude, that African. And what's going to happen is when he beat that African and become the champion, he going to say, I can't make 168 no more. And then he going to try to campaign either at 190 or 175. And then he going to, if he don't want to campaign there, he just going to retire. I'm telling you. He ain't trying to run no David Benavidez, because David Benavidez is going to spark him. I tell you, man. Like, David Benavidez going to get Canelo that work. Canelo ain't ready for that. Canelo can't do that, I'm going to walk you down type thing. David Benavidez be laughing when he be getting hit. He getting hit to the body, he smiling. Like, what you laughing for, bro? So, yeah, I got Canelo at 4. At 5, and like I said, this is all based off resume. At 5, it's tough. I mean, you would have to go Tyson Fury. Like I said, Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder twice. You know what I mean? Like I said, he's fighting top talent. And, you got to give a man his credit. You know what I mean? That dude who's that big, who can move like that, it's impressive. So, and to knock out a fighter, I didn't think he can knock out Deontay Wilder. I'm not going to lie to you. I was like, man, he ain't going to knock out Deontay Wilder. I never saw that happening. So, he made me a believer. I mean, he proved me wrong. You know what I mean? And that's what I say on my channel. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong, bro. Like, I don't, there's no ego. I don't run for no smoke. That don't mean that, I don't run for no smoke, meaning that I only going, when it pertains to fighting. I'm talking about if I make a fight prediction and I'm wrong, I'm going to give you your credit. Just like everybody telling me Bud Crawford going to knock out Errol Spence. If Bud Crawford gets in there and knocks out Errol Spence, I will personally, when I make my pre-fight prediction, come on here and be like, hey, whoever said that, hey, I was wrong. So-and-so did say that this person that was going to beat Errol Spence, and it happened. So big shout out to this person. I did that with the George Kambosos fight. Like I say, man, we don't run from smoke, bro. We run to it. You know what I mean? So, like I said, my pound for pound, I got Jermell Charlo, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, and Tyson Fury. That's my pound for pound list. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I've been rambling for 25 minutes. I'm finna go in this gym and get it cracking. Big Boss down.